What's up? This is Robert from Existence First, and I'm going to ask you a question about a day that maybe didn't go as well as you had hoped it would go, okay? Maybe a day where you kind of got in a rut or something, okay? And if you ask yourself, think about that day and ask yourself, what was the percentage of time that you spent in action versus thinking, okay? I wrote it on my whiteboard. It's going to be backwards, I think, because I'm doing this on my phone, but think of a pie chart, right? Action and thought. Action and thinking. And ask yourself, what was the ratio? What was the ratio of those two things during that day? And was that ratio appropriate? Of course, there's other issues here, such as the quality of that action and the quality of that thought. You could have a day where you're taking a lot of action, thinking that you would get results, but if it's not quality action, or if it's not the action that would bring about the effect you're trying to create, then the day will be spent in frustration. I had 2 days this week where I turned things around very, very well. One was during the week, and then one was yesterday, which was Saturday, okay? So the one during the week, meetings were getting delayed, right? There was a meeting that I had, and it was delayed. And that initially caused me kind of frustration, right? Because I was ready to go, and now it's like, what am I going to do with this time now? Because I had my day planned out, this or that, right? But I was able to turn that around and shift it. And the way that I did that was I took the opportunity to, because I caught myself thinking too much. I was thinking like, well, I don't know, is this project good? Is that project good? Whatever, right? And I realized I was caught in my mind. So then I took one of the projects and I brought it to someone in the workplace, and I said, what do you think of this? And they had a very positive reaction to it, okay? And that, in turn, got me started down a positive route, and I was able to use that to just to take that energy, boom, and like roll it into the next win, okay? This is talked about in the book, The Winner Effect. And so look that up. I would highly recommend that book. I think the subtitle is The Neuroscience of Success and Failure. But it kind of explains how you can go from achieving a small win to something greater, okay? Another example. Yesterday, I was here at the apartment. I mean, what else can we do during this shelter-in-place thing? And I had like a productive morning, and then suddenly around like 10 o'clock, I felt like really sleepy, and I was like, do I need to take a nap? And then the thoughts started racing of, oh, well, I should do more. You know, I wanted to get more done today, but I'm just so tired. I didn't think I would be this tired. And you know how this, if you've ever experienced this, and you know what it's like, that like internal like debate, okay? So what I said is, I said, I'm not going to think my way out of this. I'm going to have to act my way out of this. So what did I do? Since I wasn't feeling like the most energetic, I said, I'm going to do some very easy stuff, right? Just get stuff that I can just get it out of the way. So for instance, there's this video course that I'm watching by Grant Cardone. Shout out to Grant. And the first 4 videos are like onboarding, like informational, like overview stuff, like, oh, just so you know, like, blah, right? So I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to just pile through these videos. But as I got through them, and as I started like watching even the first course, I started to kind of build some momentum, because I was like, whoa, that felt really good. I got past the onboarding videos, and then, so that was the small win. And what happens after that, if you read The Winner Effect, is dopamine release happens, which then you can use, will give you more energy and optimism to move into the next task. And the night ended up being extremely productive. The rest of the day I finished the whole course actually. And that was in part because I decided to take action. I left that loop of thought and I decided to take action. Okay, one last note. Working in the field of psychology, as I have for the last 8 or so years, there's there's two terms that we use, right? We make a distinction between thought disorders and mood disorders. Mood disorders is like depression or bipolar, where your mood goes up and down. And then thought disorders are when your thinking just doesn't make sense, like for instance in schizophrenia, okay? But what about, why is there no talk of something like an action disorder, right? Like an action disorder where the person wants to achieve things, but they just never take action to do them. Or they have to do these certain tasks by a certain time, and they just don't do it. They just don't get it done. And I mean, maybe we just call that procrastination, but why not have a disorder called that, right? Action taking disorder or something, because then it might actually highlight to people where they're falling short in life, and where there's this missed potential, right? Which is like, hang on, if there's this last spark plug that can be ignited and you're not igniting it, but if you were to ignite it, then your engine would get going, like you would get out of bed, you would actually do stuff, then why not ignite that? You know what I mean? So I guess to summarize, taking small actions can pay dividends because you build it into the next one. Reminds me of The Compound Effect, actually, which is another very good book to read, The Compound Effect. But all right, this will be a video of book reviews. I think we'll wrap it up there. Think deeply and put your existence